This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
And boom!
Common man, no show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh boy! Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
Vikings trail the Packers by 4, just underneath the 2-minute warning. What better guy to have than the former Packer Brett Favre, number 4, calling out the signals and leading the final drive here at Lambeau Field. Favre calling out signals, drops back to pass, looking for intercepted by Charles Woodson, and Woodson is gone. The guy we wanted, the guy we begged for, the guy we possibly tampered with to get the play in purple, Brett Favre, throws a costly interception, and the Vikings will lose to the Packers at Lambeau Field.
Little Cubbies versus Little Tigers, bottom of the third inning. Little Johnny up to bat. Little Billy, the pretend pitcher for the Little Cubbies. Little Billy pretends to pitch. Little Johnny swings, and it's a dribbler to second base, and it goes by Little Aaron through to the gap. All 9 Little Cubbies chasing after it. The right fielder, Little Danny, laying on the ground, playing with dandelions. He won't get there. Maybe the right center fielder, Little Kenny, will. No, it goes by Little Kenny, too. All the Little Tigers will score, except Little Johnny. Little Johnny is running the wrong way. The man that hit the dribbler to the gap is going the wrong way. He's rounding second, but in the opposite direction. Pandemonium here on field number 3.
Well, there's that.
You've got to be kidding me!
What'd you shoot today? Where'd we play?
Well, there's that.
Incredible. The 5-iron might as well be a pitchfork.
Well done, young man!
Well, we just started.
He's
the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the North. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
And I know Brett Blakemore in for the vacationing Tennessee. I know you live for Wheel of Topic.
I do.
Because you can't wait to see what it lands on. You want to have Dark say, "What'd you shoot today? Where'd we play? Where'd we hit it on one? What was your second shot on Pitchfork? The whole thing,
right or left?
Not today. I did not play today. I'm not one of those that's opposed to playing in the rain. My friend Gumshoe Guy once said, I'll play in the rain, but I won't start in the rain. Now, I will start in the rain, but that was duck-billed platypus weather out there this morning. Plus, I wish the game were easier than it is. Well, it's not easy at all. I mean, I wish it were easy. Because I've had as roller coaster a stretch as I've ever had in my entire, and I've been golfing a lot since. I get out a couple of times a week, 3, 4 times. All right, I pretty much play every day and have since 1994, 95, and awful for 5 weeks. Master Pro gives me a tip. I tear Loggers Trail apart with a 76. That was 2 bogeys and a double, so that's 15 pars. Just solid golf. Then the next day I go out and it's just awful.
Ugh.
And then it was awful the day after that. But in between those 2 awful days, I went to the range and hit it pretty well. Yesterday, though, I went home and I'm sitting watching the Open Championship and I'm thinking, I knew I wasn't going to play today. I'm going to play before tee to green tomorrow. But I'm watching the guys on TV and I'm going, well, I can swing like that. I know I can. So I actually got up, left, went to the range, and I started hitting the ball like a combination of J.J. Spahn, Sammy Burns, and Victor Hovland. Just, no need to do that. Blow your own horn. We don't need sound effects every time. Let's just, it's okay.
That's a record.
Yeah, that's a record. I just hit knockdown, punch, cut, fade draws, and I was just puring the golf ball. So maybe the next time out, I can bring what I've done at the range to the guy. The hardest thing to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll often tell me that you were hitting the ball beautifully at the range, and then you go out to the golf course, and suddenly it's a whole different story. And we all know why for all the various reasons. But that is neither here nor there. What is even in golf, they idolize and pedestalize. I turned on the coverage this morning, U.S. Open, 125th playing of the U.S. Open. And Scotty Scheffler's on the first tee. Maybe it was 1-10, whatever it was. Opposite of what he played. Yes, they start half the field on 1, half the field on 10. They flip-flop the next day. And the one announcer goes, Scotty said he was kind of surprised nobody shot lower than 4 under yesterday. And the other guy goes, only Scotty Scheffler can say that. It's like, well, anybody can say that. You could say it, I could say it, anybody can say it. But they have to do the idolization and pedestalization. And I don't think he played particularly well today. He started with a birdie, I believe, on hole 1. And it was kind of downhill. What did he end up shooting? Did you see? This is sort of our U.S. Open update for the 125th playing of the U.S. Open. What did he end up shooting today? Do you have that handy anywhere?
I have the top. I have to scroll down quite a bit to get to him.
I'm sure you do have to scroll down.
Yeah, because it was not good. He ended up at 3 over.
Yeah.
Today, he shot a 73.
Yeah, so 3 over today. 73 today, so he's 3 over.
Yeah, so it's 3 over for the tournament. Yep.
So 3 over for the tournament. And, that's inside the cut line. I don't know what they're projecting the cut line. It's got to be well over par, right? 4, 5, 6, 7 over would be the cut line. Do they have a projected cut line? Because it's let's just say it's a trying golf course. It will test your mettle. It will test your patience. And I like it. I rather enjoy watching them. I've discussed this before. I would much rather watch guys struggle on a golf course rather than watch the Greater Greensboro Open or their, the Greater Milwaukee or whatever it was called back in the olden days, where they're just, saw the leaders at 27 under par. That's just, that doesn't impress me. I like watching them work hard. Sammy Burns today was simply brilliant. He shot 65 today. That's 5 under par. I'm going to tip my cap to Kevin Gorg again. Kevin Gorg's father, a longtime golf professional here in town at the Faribault Country Club. So Kevin Gorg knows golf. And he was the last selection in the Power Trip morning show, where they pick the players, where all the guys, they'll go down the list of the favorites, and one after another, they'll just pick that player. It's almost like an exercise in futility. But when you have the last pick, you've got to be savvy. And Kevin Gorg took Sammy Burns. Sammy Burns right now is one shot behind J.J. Spahn, who is yet to tee off yet. J.J. Spahn is your leader. And, I'm sure what Gorg did was he saw what Sammy Burns did the tournament before. It's really simple. If I would close circuit to those that participate in the Power Trip morning show, golf betting pool or whatever they call that, just look at the week before and see who played well and pick one of those people, because that's generally how it is. Golf, as you know, it's a very momentum kind of a game. I've compared it to the roller coasters. The pros, their roller coaster is like the one over at MOA. Very gentle ups and downs. I'm more like you, and I are more like Valley Fair. Big drops. We don't get, of course, our roller coaster doesn't get to the heights that they do at Valley Fair, but certainly the depths do. But when a guy's playing well and he's on a roll, he finished second. He lost in a 4-hole playoff to whoever it was that won last week. Well, guess what? The guy's playing well. So take guys that are playing well, and is certainly proving that for Sammy Burns. So Scheffler shot a 70. I think your information was incorrect. But that's okay, too. Scheffler shot a 73 yesterday. He was 3 over. He's even through 16 today. So I don't know where you were getting your information, unless our text message is wrong. And the projected cut line right now is +4. So Scheffler even today, 3 over yesterday as they continue second round action. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got a little dis, dat, lat to get to here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Are you shopping for a new laptop while still trying to keep up with technology and AI? Talk about feeling burnt out. But no more. Lenovo.com makes it easier than ever to find the perfect PC. In fact, we'll break it down for you. Step 1. Shop our lineup of AI PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Because why deal with downloading new software when you can buy a smarter PC that already comes with all of the AI features and tools? Step 2. Find the one that fits your passion. Whether you're a creative genius, a research scientist, a hardcore gamer, or a future CEO, no dream is too big. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. You can keep up with your ideas as well as any challenges you may face. Step 3. Add to cart and purchase. Oh, if you're a college student or a teacher, make an education account through us and get 5% off your whole order. Shop now at Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/iHeart. Greenlight.com/iHeart.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Ooh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Man.
If you want to chime in what's happening with your favorite KFAN shows, you can make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. So let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. 64686, standard text message and data rates apply.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man program. I'm Common. Text message is welcome at the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line, 64686. You can try to give us a call. We don't answer the phone often. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if we've paid our phone bill as of late. But that's 1-800-320-5326. Booth at KFAN.com is our email address. We might do some talkbacks today. We haven't done any in quite some time. We kept talking about doing a talkback Tuesday just because of the alliteration. But because it's a phone it in Friday, maybe we could do some talkbacks a little bit later. That's simple. You download the iHeartRadio app, search for stations, find the fan. When you do, you'll see a microphone icon in the corner of the screen. You tap it and you have 30 seconds or less to deliver us a audio message. So you can do that, and maybe we'll listen to some of those today. Before we do Peek at the Purple, brought to you by Affordable Electric, I received this text message that says, according to your theory, somebody should have picked Ryan Fox because he played the best last week and won the tournament, but this week he is 8 strokes off the lead. I guess it only works sometimes. Which, of course, my response is, well, obviously. I mean, if the guy that won the tournament the week before, you took him every week because you think he's going to win the next tournament, then the same guy would win the same tournament. Of course, there's nothing foolproof about betting. There never has been. That's why sports books and casinos make a lot of money. A lot of people lose a lot of money. You just have to know which guy to pick. Sammy Burns, I think, probably has a bit of a better resume than Fox. And you could have taken Fox. Had I been in that situation. Never been invited to participate in the Power Trip Morning Show's golf bets. But I very well could have, had I been the last pick or second to last pick. I very well could have taken Ryan Fox, and I would have thought that would be a good pick. But taking Sammy Burns was obviously a really good pick. Peek at the Purple is brought to you by Affordable Electric. Affordable Electric has you covered whether you're selling or remodeling. Their licensed electricians specialize in identifying and correcting code violations to keep your home safe and up to standard. From outdated wiring to missing GFCIs, they'll fix it all quickly and correctly. Family owned and operated, your safety is their priority. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. And remember, Affordable Electric is... boy, that hurts. Shockingly affordable. Yesterday, this might be the longest time ever. This might be the longest time ever expended. Now, what am I trying to say? I'm having trouble talking today. The longest time between making a tease and paying off the tease. Yesterday, I stumbled across a story that basically said best and worst case scenarios for every National Football League team. Of course, all we focused on was the NFC North. We got to Chicago, Green Bay, and Detroit. Never got to the Vikings. And as I teased yesterday, this this Vikings best case, worst case scenario, I couldn't agree with more, and I think most people know what's coming, and I think probably agree as well. Here's your best case scenario. Kevin O'Connell gets instant results from J.J. McCarthy, who plays point guard for Justin Jefferson and the rest of their elite group, and Minnesota survives a brutal slate to make a second straight postseason bid. That would be nice. Here's your worst case scenario. McCarthy is swallowed up by both a tough schedule and inflated expectations, at some point even prompting Sam Howell to enter under center. And Vikings fans are somehow forced to lament Sam Darnold's exit. And that would be your worst case scenario, because I think most people, most Viking fans, had no issue with the Vikings moving on from Sam Darnold, particularly with the way the season ended with Darnold. We all remember that final game of the season with the division on the line, and the Lions beat the Vikings. That was due in great part. I think anybody that watched the game realizes it seemed like old Sam Darnold has an arm. E-I-E-I-O. I think he had a bad case of what I would call the jitters, and he overthrew a number of open wide receivers, including the aforementioned Justin Jefferson, and they ended up getting they got routed by the Kitties. The following week, they had to take the Rams on the road in a first-round playoff game, and 9 sacks. And I wouldn't put much of what happened on Sam Darnold. I would put it on the offensive line, especially the interior of the offensive line. Darnold was sacked 9 times. That tied a playoff record. Vikings go quietly into the night. The head coach, the following Monday, at the season-ending news conference, made no bones about it. He came right out and said, one of the things we need to work on this offseason is the middle of our offensive line, and they did just that. They went out and got a new center and a new guard, and whether that works or not remains to be seen. But, at the time, as the season was progressing, one of the major storylines, if not the top storyline, was, wow, this Darnold guy's come out of nowhere. He's finally now in a place where he's got a nice offensive unit to work with. He's got a quality offensive line. We found out that middle of the line. Of course, we always kind of knew that, but the middle of the offensive line left something to be desired. But he had a good running game, good wide receivers, good tight ends, and he had the quarterback whisperer, who's considered a pretty bright offensive mind, and he was brilliant. And the whole debate was, do you keep Sam Darnold, and you'll have to pay him probably what he ended up getting from Seattle, $100 million, or do you move on to J.J. McCarthy? And the Vikings decided to move on. And McCarthy is now with, I think, Seattle, or Darnold's with Seattle, and we have McCarthy. And that would be it. I mean, if McCarthy were to struggle in the early going of the season, and maybe all season long, I think there's going to be there would be some second guessing of the franchise. All in all, I would have liked to, we talked about it. I wouldn't have mind seeing Rodgers play for the Vikings, because I do think the window is kind of wide open for him right now, but he can be a distraction, certainly, and how much he has left, I don't know. So I guess the McCarthy thing is the best way to go, but that would be the worst case scenario for the Vikings, is J.J. McCarthy ends up being the next Christian Ponder. And I don't expect that to happen. I think but the Vikings they're going out on a limb a little bit, I think. But we'll find out. But here's your worst and best case scenarios for you soon to be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. Peek at the Purple is brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. For all of your electrical needs, go to affordable-electric.com. That's affordable-electric. I mean, remember, Affordable Electric is, oh boy, it's shockingly affordable. Let's do this. Do you have that Westwood One U.S. Open update? Short form, we call it.
I do.
That's coming up. We'll throw to that. We'll update you on the U.S. Open. We'll do that next here on the Common Man program.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Are you shopping for a new laptop while still trying to keep up with technology and AI? Talk about feeling burnt out, but no more. Lenovo.com makes it easier than ever to find the perfect PC. In fact, we'll break it down for you. Step 1. Shop our lineup of AI PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Because why deal with downloading new software when you can buy a smarter PC that already comes with all of the AI features and tools? Step 2. Find the one that fits your passion. Whether you're a creative genius, a research scientist, a hardcore gamer, or a future CEO, no dream is too big. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. You can keep up with your ideas as well as any challenges you may face. Step 3. Add to cart and purchase. Oh, if you're a college student or a teacher, make an education account through us and get 5% off your whole order. Shop now at Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Oh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
The Fan.
Get ready to laugh. Comedy legend Bill Engvall is back at Treasure Island Resort and Casino Friday, September 5th. The blue-collar comedy tour icon may have retired, but he just couldn't stay away from the stage.
Why would he? Right?
Here's your sign to catch him live for another round of side-splitting humor. Get all the details, ticasino.com.
Why not? We could all use a good laugh, a little of this, a little of that, with the emphasis on the laugh. During that last commercial break, you may have noticed I did a live commercial for the PGA Tour Superstore, their grand opening in Woodbury tomorrow, my neck of the woods, all weekend long, great doorbuster savings and such like that. And any business out there that might be thinking about, I'd like to maybe dip my toe in the water with a little bit of advertising with iHeartRadio, I highly recommend it. The reason I bring up the PGA Tour Superstore commercial was because it's live, it's timely, the grand opening tomorrow. We put this thing together with John Poliska, who's our national sales guy. He put it together within just a few days. They reached out to us, I believe, and said, hey, we really need to advertise this grand opening. Where do we go? Where do you go? You go to the official, unofficial ambassador to Minnesota Golf. You go to KFAN, who is dominant in the men 25 to 54 age bracket. And so if you're out there and you'd like to radio is red hot. So, but don't call the Radio Advertising Bureau. Just call us here at iHeartMedia Minneapolis, or send us an email. You can send me a direct email if you'd like, and I can certainly steer you in the right direction. We have all sorts of, I don't know what they call them now, integrated solutions providers, or back in the old days, we just called them sales guys and gals. But whatever they call them, I can certainly put you in touch with some of our favorites, and we can get you the results that a lot of our advertisers get. So we'd certainly like to hear from you. And if you'd like to do that, comment at KFAN.com. It's easy to do. Comment at KFAN.com. I received this text message on the heels of the last segment that says, in KOC we trust, we need to talk comment off the ledge. It's Brett from Fancato. Brett from Mankato, and I'm not really on a ledge. I would never go out on a ledge with any of our local teams. Trust me. I've been here too long to put my fandom at peril by getting out on a ledge. I just realized the difficulties. I mean, Brett Blakemore, you can use this anytime you want. Only one team ends the season with a victory. That's the world. So, like in football, there's 32 teams. Only one's going to win the whole thing, and it's hard to do. I mean, there are teams that have never even been to a big game. You know, near and dear to my heart, the Motor City Kitties. They've never even been to a big game, much have an opportunity to win or lose one, right? There are a number of teams, including the Vikings, that have been there but have never won it. We are 0-4. So I understand the difficulty level in getting there. And so, you know, in KOC, we trust. It sort of like goes with Barney the Purple Dinosaur. He always does #faith. In other words, just, I guess, it might not even be blindly believing in local ownership, local front office, local coaching, the players. It might not even be you're blindly following them, but just because they say something doesn't necessarily mean it's so, because this is the time of the year we'll use football as the example because the football season is approaching. We're already in the midst of the baseball season. Well, I'll use baseball as an example. The Polat pocket protectors and those that follow the Twins during spring training, headed into the regular season, a lot of positive things being talked about how well they played last year until the collapse. And the collapse sort of kind of coincided with a couple of key players suffering injuries. But, you know, we were told we got a lot of pieces in place. You know, the we will swing the sticks was the text message I got from LaBelle Neal III. He said, we will swing the sticks. Our pitching staff was considered I was told it was one of the best in Major League Baseball. And then when you combine the starting staff with the bullpen, it was basically nothing's going to stop us now. Well, we've seen what happened. Now, again, an injury to Lopez has a lot to do with, but Ober isn't pitching as well as he did. Lopez has an injury. I don't think our hitting has been as timely as we wanted it to be. Royce Lewis suffered another injury and hasn't played much and really hasn't done particularly much at the plate. Correa's, for the kind of money he's making, I would say he's not really much of a bargain right now. So all of these high hopes, this selling hopium that happened in spring training right now doesn't look so good. Can you look up the MLB standings right now? I think the Twins, at least we're consistent. We gave up 16 runs in each of the last two games. So we're consistent. I mean, giving up 16 runs in back-to-back games, that's almost, you would think that's impossible to do. But where do the Twins stand right now behind the Tigers?
They're still 8 games behind.
8 games back. And you're not impossible to make up, but I don't know where we start. I mean, we don't get Lopez back till at least September, well, maybe August, but certainly August or September. I don't think any of our, we don't have any call-ups that are going to invigorate the starting staff and give us much of a chance, but I could be wrong there. But when it comes to the Vikings, here are a list of headlines from Fish Wrap Factory Westside over the past few days with the Vikings minicamp going on. J.J. McCarthy leaves Vikings minicamp right where he needs to be with plans to build through the summer. He's right where he needs to be. #faith. Hopium. He's right where he needs to be. He's not ahead of schedule, behind schedule. He's right where he needs to be. Okay, here's another story. Vikings impressed by Christian Darrisaw's return to practice, but won't rush him back. They're impressed. Good news. So both stories, good news out of the new Winter Park. Good news from the new Winter Park. Our next one. Justin Jefferson sees growth in fellow Vikings receivers Jordan Addison and Jalen Naylor. Sees growth. Another positive story coming out of Vikingville. And then there was a study of Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy at work reveals he's both engaged and engaging. Things always look promising before the season starts, right? I would bet you would find similar headlines in Fish Wraps, in all the major metropolitan dailies, where a National Football League team resides, right? Sure, it's happening in Green Bay and in Buffalo and Cincinnati. Even with franchises that haven't performed well as of late, that would be your Jacksonville's terrible, right? Who else is terrible? Is Carolina terrible?
They're bad.
Yeah.
The Jets.
The Jets are bad. Giants are bad. There are a lot of terrible teams in terrible cities with terrible fans and terrible stadiums and all the rest. But I would bet there's a lot of hope selling there. So it's really not so much talking me off the ledge. I'm not going to have people tell me, what else do you expect? We talked about this with Tennessee yesterday. What else do you expect the local teams to tell you? Those that are spokespeople for the team or people that they interview, whether it's owners or front office guys, coaches, players, they're all talking positive. And maybe they really do feel that way. Maybe they want to feel that way. And it all looks good when you're in OTAs, in mini camps, and in a training camp. But I need to see. I need to look, and it's better to have, I guess, positive news come out if you can take it. Yeah, to me, I just say take it for what it's worth is what I do. I'm not convinced that everything is going to be duckies and bunnies. Look, I like the acquisitions that the Purple made is from what they tell me. The two defensive linemen in the interior and the two offensive linemen in the interior, I'm sure I've heard their names during a broadcast, but when we acquired them, I couldn't tell you anything about them. But former Pro Bowlers or all pros, guys that have played well, coming off injuries, which always, I think is leads to some caution. But until they actually play games in the regular season, I'm not convinced that we're headed to any, and we got a tough division. Your club, the Packers, Kitty should be good. The Bears should be, you would think, improved, but this is all on paper, folks. All of it's on paper. So I'm not convinced. Here's one that says, everybody's always ducky and bunny. It would be more believable if they released negative stories. Also, everybody said the Twins were going to have the best pitching staff, would never have to worry about pitching, and they're going to go downhill fast. And that's my point, is that everybody's going to paint a positive picture. And like I said, maybe they all believe that. Maybe they think the wide receiver staff is growing, and then McCarthy's got everything figured out already, and maybe Darisaw is going to come back with a vengeance and be all ready to go. But until the time comes when they put their the pedal to the metal, when they put their when the rubber meets the road, so to speak, I'll reserve my judgment. I'm getting corrected by a couple of people. It wasn't 16 runs in back-to-back games, and you're right. They lost 16-4, then they won a game 6-2, and then they lost 16-3. In my defense, when you give up 16 games twice in a 3-game series, it's sort of easy to forget the 6-2 win, right? Sorry, you're right. There was, I mean, you look at yesterday's numbers, and it's Texas Rangers rough up Twins. Bailey Ober to win series 16-3. Ober gave up 7 earned runs as the Twins finished off a 2-4 homestand. Listen to these numbers from Ober. He surrendered a home run. I'm reading from Fish Wrap Fed. This is Bobby Nightingale, who was a beat writer for the Twins, Fish Wrap Factory West Side. Starting rotation, which carried the Twins to a 13-game winning streak last month, that turned their season around, is now the Twins' biggest concern. Nothing went right Thursday for Bailey Ober, who surrendered a home run on his second pitch. He issued 6 walks in 4 2/3, 2 more than he has had in any of his other 101 career starts. Plus, he gave up 6 hits, 7 runs, and a career-high 4 homers. It was a bad combination for Ober and an embarrassing outcome for the Twins in a 16-3 drubbing. The Twins have dropped 4 of their past 5 series. They were outscored 34-13 during their 3 games against Texas. How about this? In the 8 games since Pablo Lopez was put on the IL with a shoulder injury, Twins starters have posted a league-worst 7.07 ERA across 42 innings. Now, again, the 2 16-run beatdowns will certainly push your ERA up, but the numbers are the numbers. The Twins have lost 3 of their past 8 games by at least 11 runs, asking position player Jonah Bride to cover 5 innings in blowouts that look more like football scores. So you look at these numbers, and this is proof positive is to what I'm saying. The first paragraph is perfect. The starting rotation, which carried the Twins to a 13-game winning streak last month, that turned their season around, is now the Twins' biggest concern. And that's like all of these teams. We think we got a new quarterback that's going to be really great. We got the quarterback whisperer. We got wide receivers. We got new interior offensive and defensive linemen. All looks good on paper, much like the Twins starting staff look mighty good, but it doesn't take much for things to go in the other direction. Here's one. They said Darnold looked good in last year's camp also. JJ looked good before getting hurt. Hashtag faith. Everybody's got hashtag faith. And I understand. Here's one. These demon sports writers are always trying to chip away at our halo. I think he meant hail, and raise our expectations. I think they enjoy the carnage when it all goes wrong. I think there are some of those out there that do, that revel in the failures of the local teams. I'm certainly not one of those. I know they're out there. There are also those that I think become a bit too friendly with the local teams, and they actually become fans, and I don't think we always then get a real honest evaluation of what's happening. You've heard me tell the story before. Gardenhire used to do, he was a practical joker. Ron Gardenhire, former Twins manager. And apparently one of the things he had was a Joy Buzzer beer can in his office. So let's say Brett Blakemore, you started covering the Twins beat for the Fan. You know, you're down there, you're young and you're excited, and I can't believe I'm here. I'm actually covering a Major League Baseball team. I got a press credential, and you look at it, it's hanging down on your lanyard, and you're just like, God, you have to pinch yourself. This is what you wanted to do your entire. I went through the same thing. When I first started covering Vikings games, it was the coolest thing ever. I was at the Forest Lake radio station. All of a sudden, I've got a press pass that allows me to get into the stadium for free. Now, I didn't get into the football press box. I was in the baseball press box. They called it the auxiliary press box. The baseball was reserved for the legendary Sid Hartmans, the legendary Mark Rosens, the Dan Barreros, the Chad Hartmans, the Patrick Royces, the Bob Sanseviers, the Joe Schmitz, the Randy Shavers, all the beautiful people, all the legends of local broadcasting. They were allowed to sit in the football press box. Then this little small town local yokels, but I didn't care. I was in it, and then I got to go down to the locker room after the game. And there they all are. There, blood, sweat, tears. It's all just, it's right there. You're standing in the locker room with these players after they've just come off the field. They've been laying it on the line. Guys in their training room. Sometimes it doesn't work. And you're getting to ask them questions and have them respond. One of my favorite stories, I haven't told this one in a long time. So Tim Irwin was a long-time offensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings. I think he was from Tennessee, had that southern drawl like that. And Tim could be a little owly, little grouchy. So I think the Vikings just come off some devastating loss of some sort. And there was a young kid who literally, media guy, TV guy, I think he was from somewhere in Nodak. And he had gotten his press pass too. And he had his cameraman with him. And he was I'm sure he it's a pinch me moment for him too. So I see camera guy and Cub reporter go over to Irwin's stall, and Irwin's sitting on in front of his locker, right? And he's taking off his. I mean, you can just see he's got welts on his arms and stuff. I mean, you're an offensive lineman, 3 hours out on that field. Well, they're not out on the field 3, but you know, it's a 3-hour game. You take a pretty good beating, right? And he's tearing the tape off him, and his eye black is, dripping down his face and such like that. And you can tell he's spent. He laid it all on the line. Sometimes it doesn't work. And so I walk over there too because I'm going to see what he has to say. And I got my little tape recorder there. I wished I could remember the question the kid asked. I'll never forget this moment. So Irwin's sitting there. Yeah, go ahead. You can interview me. He's taking off the tape. And the kid asks him a question. And Irwin stops and he looks up. He goes, "That's the stupidest question I've ever heard in my life, and it doesn't even deserve a response." And he looked back down, and the poor kid. I mean, it was everything I could do not to laugh. I was even a gadfly back then. And the poor kid just kind of dropped his head. Camera guy turned off the light, turned off the camera, and they just turned around. All three of us just walked away. He asked him a really stupid question. It was probably one of those tough one to lose. How do you feel about losing that game? Well, how do you think I feel? I laid it all on the line. We lost a game late. So it's I guess if that's, so you get to be, and you're covering the club. So getting back to the Joy Buzzer beer can. So let's say Brett Blakemore, you got the lanyard hanging from you. And then let's say Gardy calls you by your first name. "Hey, Brett, how you doing?" And you're like, whoa, he knows my name even. This is a major league manager, and he called me by my first name. And then he invites you into the office after everybody clears out. Come in for a beer. Then he pushes the Joy Buzzer beer can over across to you, right? There's a couple of other media guys there. Your Lavells, your Royces, the Suens, the insiders, the guys that have the manager's ear. And they know it's coming, and you don't. And you go and you grab that beer can, and here it is. It's like this. And everybody laughs. They slap their knee, and they go, "Got you." But now you're one of the guys. You're in the club. You're a Polad pocket protector. So you leave there and you go home. You're driving home and you're going, I'm thinking, God, how about that? I mean, sure, it was kind of embarrassing. I got pulled in on the practical joke, but they liked me enough to invite me in and practical joke me. You're in the club. You're a Polad pocket protector. So when the next night, when the manager makes a boneheaded pitching decision, right, decides to go lefty against righty or whatever the case may be, make some kind of a decision, it's going to be a little harder for you to go. And the manager blundered when he decided to make a pitching change, or when he decided to pinch run or didn't pinch hit, or whatever most observers of the game feel was a mistake that was due in part, that was to the loss of the club. Because then you got to go face that manager again sometime, and he's going to go, I invited you into the office. Joy Buzzer beer can, and this is the thanks I get. You ripped me. So you don't want to be that guy, right? So you ignore it, and you'll see it all the time in basketball stories. Local guy is called for a foul. It'll be written, kind of a questionable foul call. Of course it was. If it happened to the other team, would it be a questionable foul call? Maybe it would have. I don't know. So you'll see that happen all the time. Certainly, there was holding on the play, even if there, and maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. But you just feel better about giving the local team the benefit of the doubt. I'm getting a lot of emails or text messages that are responding to my. I know people are saying, "Comment, it's wet enough outside with the rain. You don't have to make it into a wet blanket Wednesday." I'm just trying to explain myself and my approach to my craft and what I do, and why I always Somebody's got to try to be. I mean, again, I've had someone respond to this who says it's your job to try to tell people not to have their expectations so high. I'm not telling you don't have to. I'm just offering it up as a suggestion. You can take it or leave it for whatever it's worth. We're going to take a break. There is no 534. Lil B, Feminine Touch of the Program. There will be no program password today. The championship of the Program Password Invitational is next Friday. Lil B will be in next Friday and she'll be participating in that championship. The Broads are back. It will be Lil B and Marnie Gellner taking on Corey Cove, the maestro of the mornings, and the tasteless box of mashed potatoes, Justin Guard. It promises to be, I shouldn't say promise to be, it looks like it should be an epic matchup. But I'm not going to tell you, it's going to be a great matchup. We can hardly wait because I don't know if it's going to be a great matchup. It has all the makings. On paper, it looks good, but it could end up being a rout either way. But we'll have that for you next Friday. But Lil B, Feminine Touch of the Program, she joins us next here on The Fan.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Saks Off 5th, up to 70% off every day. Summer is in full swing here at Saks Off 5th with so many exciting trends to try. From matching sets and floral dresses to wide-leg jeans and chic accessories, find all of this season's must-have styles. Plus, shop new designer arrivals weekly. Find Gucci, Valentino Garavani, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for up to 70% off every day.
Want to feel more creative but don't have the right laptop? Lenovo.com can help. Look through our legendary lineup of AI-powered PCs and devices and find the one that fits your passion. Our PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, as well as cutting-edge AI tools, allow students to focus, learn, and create with ease. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers can get 5% off their order. Shop now on Lenovo.com. The future's waiting, and it needs you.
Some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com, ODOO.com.